Oh, well,
Yeah.
Toby called me like a couple weeks before the tournament started and said, Coach, I'm coming back to help you win the league. And when he won it, he touched me on the shoulder and said, Coach, remember what I told you? I was coming back to help you win the league. Toby is probably the most talented
Yeah.
young defender we ever have for a long period of time. If you saw Toby in the under 20 World Cup qualifier 2 years ago, when Mexico beat us only on goal difference, we did draw with Mexico 2-2. Tope was even the second leading goal scorer in our Jamaica team. I mean, he's just that good. He's a threat at both offensive and defensive
Yeah.
end. And he passes like a midfielder.
Welcome, Sports Nation, to Sports DTM, the sports channel where we call sports down the middle. You can expect the latest in sports news, views, and reviews from our resident analysts. No sports topic is too controversial, and no team or player is above criticism. So just smash that subscribe button and ring that notification bell to make sure you don't miss out on our balanced offering of riveting sports content. And don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment below. Welcome to Sports DTM.
Greetings, Sport TTM fans, and welcome to another exciting episode of Sports Down the Middle. Today, we have in our studio Mr. Rudolph Speid. Is the JFS Technical Committee Chairman, and he also put on his title. He's also the 2021 Jamaica Premier League champion. Yes, he's a coach of Cavaliers SC. Also in our studio, we have next commentator with us, Mr. Edward Guna. Good evening, Mr. Speid. How are
Good
you?
evening, sir. I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Okay. Yes, good. First, we must say
Mhm.
congratulations for winning the JPL with Cavaliers. Yeah, you beat Waterhouse on penalties 5-4. Congratulations. Doesn't mean no matter how, but you did it, sir. Congratulations.
Well, thank you very much. It was hard work.
All right, Sir Speed, as I start the question. All right. Did you know from the beginning of the season that you would win the league?
Definitely not. We had to work very hard, and we had to even change courses when some things wasn't working properly. So definitely not.
Okay. All right. Cavaliers has not won the league in 40 years. What changed this season? What did you do differently?
Well, um, truth be told, I am improving as a coach personally, um, because of some stuff that we learned going to school. The CONCACAF B license course that we did 2 years ago opened our eyes on some things. I've been doing my homework and doing some lot of reading. And I also have a mentor from FIFA, which people don't know. I kind of talk to this person on a regular basis. And so, and there's always this strive for us to improve the club itself. So all of those come together, and then there's a different attitude of the players because what looked at like it was a weakness where we lost all our top players, Nicky Daly, Chevron Marsh, then Alex Marshall, Nicholas Hamilton, the Murphy brothers, Leonard Rankin. What looked like it was a weakness was actually a blessing in disguise because we got these young players now, and it was a building process and blending process, but they were so susceptible to learning. They learn fast, and we could see the transition of the team improving week by week by week by week, and that was what carried us over the line.
Okay, beautiful. You mentioned some names, and these are some young players, right? So, Cavaliers decided to use youth. Where did this come from? Notice that in the Jamaican thread, they don't like to use you. You understand? They don't like to use. They love the big man coming up. So where did Cavaliers get this formula to use youths?
It is twofold. One, as you know, I have another life which I work in corporate, and I always employ young people. It's just naturally for me to
Yes,
want to
the
work with
cleaner.
young people from corporate. Yes, and then when we got relegated, I noticed all the players who were of a certain age, they didn't care. They just say, listen, we want to go to another club. They wanted their transfer. And some of them came to me like in I think it was 2016, 17. So what I did was just transferred out every single player over a certain age, I think over 23, and said, no, I'll keep the ones that are younger. And even if the younger ones came for transfer, I would resist and say, no, I'll pay your salary just the same. So since we came back in the Premier League, we have gone and embarked on this youth program, which I thought they were easily more trainable. Um, yeah, a little bit of a secret, although them say a magician never tells the secrets. But the truth is, I did a deep dive down into the different generations, right? What they bring as human beings and how they feel about themselves. And what I noticed is that Generation X is probably the best generation to it's a better generation to work than Generation Y when it comes to football. I mean there's other sports and there's other things. Mainly because they will work hard, but you have to reward them same time for the hard work. So I just stick to the Generation X basically, and it has paid dividends since I came back up. We have been third 2 years in the Premier League when it closed, when it came to go to the ending, and then this year we actually won. Actually, every single year the team that keeps getting younger and younger. Even the team that I'm going to be having next year is even younger than the team that I have this year.
You see, that is very interesting. You think that should float over to the national thing. You think that
Well,
system should float over to the national thing.
the truth is,
Because we
somebody.
have we have we have some players now where we're nearly 40 and then some and then age. Is that we have young players. We
Oh
have young
God.
players. You understand? We have young
No,
players.
it
And
takes a while
you
though.
rightly said, no, you rightly said they're trainable. You understand? Why don't
Yes.
we train some of these young people to play the position that is needed for the national setup?
So it's a process though, and maybe in the World Cup qualifying year is not the time to start. In fairness, right? But
True.
but the truth is that you have to put your trust in these young players because in the finals we brought on a 16-year-old. Well, it was just 16. It was 15 when the tournament started. And we brought on a 17-year-old in the finals. They played for over 30 minutes, like almost 40 minutes, because we believe we trusted them once they can do a certain thing. So it also have to be the coach's mindset who thinks that he can trust this age group to do the business. But we have gone over it a lot of months with the players, told them what is expected of them, what they are supposed to do. So and that is the problem for a lot of coaches to trust the young players to do what is required. And that I think is the biggest obstacle right now.
Was it? I know you mentioned the youth, but was it because you didn't have a backup plan, so to speak, or you didn't have another option?
No, Cavalier is one of the most um, is one of the clubs of choice at this particular time. You should see the list of players that we get every day that wants to join. Players from other clubs too. So it's really a deliberate process,
Yeah.
deliberate. Um, as I said before, we did the research and we realized what is going to happen. We didn't know that we were going to win, but as soon as the season kept going, we realized that, hold on, this looked like it winnable. And once we
Yeah, you
saw
have a
that, because
chance.
at the start of the season, we were just playing. If you ever saw us play initially, early part of the season, we just attacked you with that way, and we didn't care. We just attack you from the whistle go. Attack after attack after attack, waves after waves after waves, exciting stuff, you know. But that part of the season, we were trying to give every player some minutes. So we were just looking at about minutes for all the players. Funny enough, is when we lost the game to Mount Pleasant, which they have never beaten us before in Premier League. It's the first they have ever beaten us. And we looked at how poor our performance was, and we still lost the game by 3 goals to 2. We said, "Hold on, wait a minute. We can win this thing." And that is the time we put ourselves in a different gear and a different mindset to win the title.
Dwayne Busy Atkinson, talented young player. Are there any other clubs lurking? abroad for his signature or any other player?
Yeah, I mean, he's supposed to go to the embassy this week, and so there's a club that wants it to come up, and stay with him for a month. I don't know if they're going to be signing him, but
But
I think that it will do him well if he goes away
just a
for a
trial.
month. Yeah, well, yeah, kind of. I just want him to go to the club and see what they have to offer. Whether they sign him or not, I think it's a good experience for him.
Experience.
Because remember,
So
even if they
true.
want him, even if they want
Jamal
him,
Topi.
oh well,
Yeah.
Toby called me like a couple weeks before the tournament started and said, "Coach, I'm coming back to help you win the league." And when he won it, he touched my shoulder and said, "Coach, remember what I told you? I was coming back to help you win the league." Toby is probably the most talented
Yeah.
young defender we ever have for a long period of time. If you saw Toby in the under 20 World Cup qualifier 2 years ago, when Mexico beat us only on goal difference, we did draw with Mexico 2-2. Tope was even the second leading goal scorer in our Jamaica team. I mean, he's just that good. He's a threat at both offensive and defensive
Yeah.
end. And he passes like a midfielder. So to be honest, Tope is one of those players that is quality, and it's just a matter of time before that quality shines through.
He was called up to the national team for the October window. He didn't get a minute in the team. What you think caused that? A lot of persons saying he was unfit. What you think caused that?
I really don't I really don't interfere in the senior team on an operational level. So I never even tried to find out why. I just know that, you know,
But was he
he's
was
one
he
of
fit?
the.
Was he fit?
I was playing him into fitness because he would have played fully. When he just came, he was not fit. I was playing him half a game and giving him parts a game. But I think from the Portmore game, which we won 1-0, he played fully Portmore. He played full in against Veer, and then he played 3 games after that. He even played 120 minutes in the final. We didn't take him off any at all. So he's coming into some form.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's not fully fit. I wouldn't say he's as fit as he has ever been, but he's working into form. So I'm hoping that at some point in time we'll get some more.
Craig Butler doing a lot of work with his Phoenix Academy. Are any of the players blacklisted by the JF?
Not at all. Nothing happens. Sir. There's no blacklist as far as I know. Everybody who is eligible to play for Jamaica can play for Jamaica. There's no blacklist. I am sure that there's no blacklist.
Excellent, excellent. Touching a little bit on Tapper. We heard rumors of Tapper being, going to get the sack ahead of the Canada game. Was his job ever on the line?
Every coach,
No, it
you
might be
know
hard
that.
for you to answer at this time.
No, but every coach, I mean, you know, the nature of their job is performance. It's performance centric.
Yeah.
Even me, who have so much years in a Cavalier, I have to sit down with my directors and tell them what I'm going to do in 3 years. So, for instance, I say, yeah, I'm going to go to the CONCACAF League. I told them that was what we're looking for. We're going to sell 2 players, and I never promised them to win the league though. And we're going to make sure so our age is under 22 on average. Of course, this year it was under 21. So even me, I had to sit down with my board and say, this is what I'm going to do. Although I probably I
Yeah,
want more shares in a Cavalier. So every coach know that
blueprint.
performance is required.
All right, good. We're glad we touched on the reggae boys, and this is a question. Me personally is calling for this. If you were the reggae boys coach, what would your starting 11 be and formation tactics?
Come on.
No, but seriously, no, no, just tell me. If you were the reggae boy coach,
No, I couldn't tell you what the starting 11 because if you are going to say maybe what would be our best starting 11, maybe I could figure it out. But every
yeah,
single
best
time
starting
we
11.
call up a squad, um, w- for 1 or 2 reasons, some of the persons are just not available. So you'd have to just use the best that is available. I haven't thought about it, really. I know Coach Whitmore has used a number of formation, but I haven't thought about it because formation, the coach should not choose the formation. You should look at the players that you have and then you come up with what the formation should be. That's how I coach. I don't go and say I'm not gonna play it like Pep Guardiola when I don't have the required players to play it. So if I have two slow centre half, for instance, I
Right.
can't play 4-3-3. So I wouldn't know how to answer you unless I really studied it.
Okay. All right. A lot of fans, you understand? A lot of fans want to see you as national coach. And as you do your thing with the youth and you win it with the youth. And so if you were offered the job, would you take it?
Actually, I was offered a job, by the president when he asked me. He said, do you can either be a national coach or you could be the chairman of the technical committee. And I chose to be the chairman of the technical committee because I thought that I would be able to help the Jamaica development much better by having an overall responsibility. So, for instance, right now, one of our biggest thing that we're looking at is club licensing, and we're looking at coaching education. Club licensing, you have to realize, um, like Iceland, they use club licensing with impunity to achieve what they want to achieve. Belgium was 66 when they started coaching education. Now they are one ranked team in the world. So I wanted to focus on developing up Jamaica on a whole and not just one aspect. So I had chosen to be that. So if I was going to become a coach, I would have to resign from that position as chairman of technical and development committee. But I have some work to do there.
All right. So you believe you made the right choice in the end.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of my dreams to coach a national team. So maybe in the future, that will happen. But right now, I have those two working on. I'm working on an elite youth football program and a player pathway for players. So players, when you want to become a doctor now, you know exactly how. I'm working on a way. So if you want to become a professional player, you can identify how you get there. So I just thought those things are so important, um, for the country and a whole. And also, we're trying to semi-professionalize the women's football and try to build the women's capacities because we believe that in the women's version of the game, it's probably easier for Jamaica to become a world power than in the men. Although I certainly believe that the men can be ranked in the 20s if we put everything together. So I just thought that will help Jamaica more, and being the nationalist who I am, I kind of chose that part. But I'm not writing off not coaching in the future at national team.
Good stuff. Do you think social media, especially YouTubers like Sports DTM, have a role to play in Jamaican football?
Of course, look here. I am a media person. I you know how long I work for the media, almost 30 years. I probably more than
Persons,
30
the
years.
persons don't like us in the media,
I have no
Yeah,
issue
they're
with
making comments that football is not played on YouTube and all of that.
uh, and that is certainly true. But I believe that the media as a whole, I'm a staunch supporter of media rights. I'm a staunch supporter of the media holding us accountable and keeping a check on society. So if your guys are keeping a check on the sports people, I'm all for it. I'm not against it.
Right.
Just to add to that, that I watch you guys. I don't subscribe, but I watch you guys, and I must tell you, a lot of time you
Yeah,
have to
man.
learn to pick certain things out of when you're watching because a lot of time I didn't know that, and it helps my education. So it's like you're reading a book. You're not going to pick everything out of the
Right.
book that you read, but you pick some things out of it that help your education. So a lot of times I'm on social media, especially the YouTubers, and you tell me things that I didn't know. Like for instance, is on social media, I realized first that El Salvador two centre half maybe out and one more player. And those are the tall guys. So you see, you could use it to your advantage to figure out how you attack
Exactly.
them. So I
Exactly.
am not I am
Exactly.
not against social media. A lot of times I find out things on social media. including the team, including the squad. You guys good.
All right.
I like.
JFF is likely to. Yeah, yeah, thanks very much. JFF is likely to call up. We've heard some new youths in the next window. Do you
Some
think
new
there
what?
should be a cutoff time for adding new players? Some new players, English-based players. We've heard. Do you think
Well,
there should
I
be a
don't
cutoff
know.
time
I,
in
I
terms
don't
of
know who they're
additional
calling
players?
up. I don't know who they're calling up. But let me just say this. If somebody is a Jamaican and they're eligible to play for Jamaica and they have the quality, I don't have any issue with whatever time they call them. Because let me tell you why. Europe is the best
Yeah.
university for players now. Don't make anybody fool you about South America or anywhere else. Europe is by far the last four World Cup they have won them. I think they have won 13 World Cup now compared to South America, nine, and nobody else has ever won the World Cup. So it kind of give you an idea that they are stepping ahead of everybody. So that's where the university is. Those players understand football more than the rest of us. Football nowadays are played in moments, right? And that is what a lot of people don't understand. Football are played in moments. For 89 minutes of the match, yes, football is played, but guess what? Usually the winner, he does something that you can't stop for 1 minute or 2 minutes and they win the game, right? Or they teach them how to stop teams from defending. They know how to defend against the counter attack, they know how to defend against positional players, they know about attacking, defending, transition. So all of these players that you see playing in Europe, they know about these things. So as far as I'm concerned, it is now with that universal language learned by the players, it is now easy for players to put themselves into groups and perform once they know what their function is supposed to be.
But Mr. Speed, the question was like, do you think that there should be a cutoff period?
No, and I just
Because we
said,
have to get the.
and I just said,
Oh,
once the person is trained, especially when they are
yeah,
trained in that environment that train you in all the occasions. Remember, I told you the occasions, attacking. Where you're attacking, you're one half and the
Yeah.
opponent half. Where you're defending, you're half and the opponent half. Or what you do when you transition, what you do to attack or what you do to transition to defense, or you defend set play, or you attack with set plays. I'm saying those moments they are taught to every single player. So I don't need to know you for 100 years. As soon as you come to my training, and I can tell you what I'm expecting of you in the moment. So I'm saying no, there shouldn't be any cutoff point.
I'm glad they said that. But do you think the GFF is doing a good job in terms of spotting talent and doing call ups?
Yes. Look here, we
Okay.
have we have over 60, almost 70 persons on our administrative list that have signed our contract and eligible for playing, right? So the JFF was the one who ensured that process took place. So who actually plays on the day though is the coach prerogative, So that's why I answered that question. That yes, the JFF is doing a good job. And look here, we a lot of people would come to us and say we have all of these people. But at the same time, we don't mind having 100 or 200 signatures, but we know all of those people cannot play. And then some people, to be honest, not good at. They recommend their friends and family, and probably the person we just don't need anybody for those positions. So it's a complex issue. It's not because you don't have a lot of people who can play for Manchester City. The truth is that whenever the coach has these positions and he has people in those positions already and he's comfortable, he's not going to be looking for anybody else. So
True. True. The Reggae Boys are now currently locked in World Cup qualifications. What are our chances of making the top four and advancing to Qatar?
very good. I mean, look here. I mean, we did the maths, and it's like I was on another program and I was telling somebody, say, don't panic. If we got 5 points out of the last, we're good. We got four. Yeah. So we do the maths there. I mean, we're just
Yeah.
what 3 points from
I need to
fourth,
lock my door.
right? We're 3 points from fourth and 5 points from third. Second and first probably difficult at this stage, but and we have all the teams to play.
Yeah.
So plus we have 5 home games coming up, which people usually do better at home. So I'm saying be calm. I don't see any rush yet. I mean, so I would have say everybody just be calm. We're still in business. And when we look at how teams qualify for the World Cup, the number one team scored 2.2 points per game. The number two team scored about 1.8. The number three scored 1.7. And number four team scored about 1.5. It's not beyond us based on where we are. So I think we have a good chance to.
You spoke about doing the maths. You have a figure in mind in terms of a tally. Say we need to get 24 points or a goal.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. We do have, based on what I just said, if you
You,
extrapolate, then you know what the points figures are. I don't want to say what they are, but yeah, we do.
no. Fair enough. Fair enough. If you were the coach of Tyreek Magee, what advice would you give him?
You know, Tarek Maggie used to play for Cavalier for a while. Very outstanding player,
I know. I
skillful.
know, man. I know.
Right. I think I kind of stopped giving me advice. But so if you ever come to me, I'll give him some advice. But I wouldn't tell you guys though. I don't want to do that. But if you ever come around me, I'll give him some advice. I have some for him. So if you see him, tell him that I have some for him. Well, I mean, I like him. I like him a lot.
Yeah.
Good player. So,
Same
follow
question,
up
but for
question.
Ravel, Maris.
No,
Same
well,
for Ravel.
Ravel, as you see, him is a very skillful player. But again, I really don't want to. You see, one of the reasons why I probably took the job that I took is more for policies and to make Jamaica as a whole better, not necessarily to try and do the individual better. So, and it's probably better we don't talk about the players like that, 'cause,
Yeah.
that put enough coaches in a trouble all the time. So, I don't really want to talk about
Yeah, yeah.
individuals because I haven't
Fair
met
enough.
him
Okay.
like that,
Fair
and
enough.
I don't know anything about him. Maggie, I know very well, and I should probably have kept him at Cavalier for longer, but that's that's where I want to go
Mhm.
with that.
All right. So, Mr. Speed, what is the highlight of your career so far?
Look here, I've whole heap of highlights now. Some people don't even know about them. Let me give you some. One, and they are not in any order. I think I went with the president
Yeah.
to employ Bora in Mexico. That was. I remember that vividly. We went to Mexico City to get him to come to Jamaica. I remember I had spoken to my late chairman and managing director at the Gleaner, Oliver Clark, and told him that I wanted to help me with sponsorship for the JFF, and we got about $350 million in one evening. $350 million one evening. I got over $200 million in sponsorship from Clara when they
Wow.
came to Jamaica. About nearly, oh, I don't remember how much from like Yellow Pages, but I'm the sponsorship king. Nobody never tell you about that side of me. When it comes to sponsorship, me are the king, you know. Um, then,
I have a question for you.
yeah, right. So one of the highlights was also I was instrumental in getting ESPN to actually show live games from Jamaica. I don't know if anybody remember that Jackie Bell knockout final, All Island final that was shown from Harborview on ESPN live. That's me. That was me, right?
Yeah.
When I was at Casafa, um, along with the sponsorship, I started electronic registration of players. I was one of the first to ensure that CASAF was a legal limited liability company. There's a lot of highlights. And football, I've probably won about 50 trophies now. I've never won the Premier League before, so winning now is the final point. I won Super League like 4 times. I won Premier League 8 times. I won every business house title you can think of. I win every youth title you can think of, including schoolboy title. So highlight would have been this Premier League when it comes to football. But there's so much things. Some of them I can't remember.
Mm.
You spoke about sponsorship. What is happening now? Why is it that the JFF cannot get any sponsorship?
Well, I mean, I try to stay in my lane. So two things I do at the JFF. One, I just do technical, and the other one, I'm on the finance committee too. So I'll review records and those things. But for marketing and sponsorship, I'm just not there. I can't stress myself no more. So I just stay in my lane. But so I really don't.
Mm. Mm.
Have you tried? Because you said you spoke about you being a marketing guru in a sense, getting so much money. Have you tried sharing ideas also to
I'm
marketing?
not a marketing guru. I just know to get money, right? So if anybody remember, my background, remember when I come into office to talk about
Business.
money. Yeah, I'm a businessman. I know where the weaknesses are. I mean, I can know what to talk about because of my background and training. So it's easier for persons to want to give me money. But I'm not in that anymore. When I did it for the JFF, I was a treasurer, so it was kind of my job to get money. I'm not in that sphere anymore, so I just don't interfere there. I don't know what is happening, and things might have changed too. So I'm not going to say anything. I just don't know, and I never try to find out. But I can't stress myself anymore. Technical and finances is enough for me.
Question. We have some games, World Cup qualifying games coming up in November, US. Do you think we could get people in the stadium to watch that game? To be
But
the 12 man.
yeah, that depends on the government. So I mean,
What is the JFF doing to talk to the government to convince
no
them to
man,
get some people?
every day, we do everything we can. So, but remember, the government um, it's not just football. Remember that they are looking at what is happening in the country. They believe they have a responsibility to the country before sports or before any. We disagree. I mean, I personally, let me just say, me, Rudolph Speid, disagree because there's no evidence to say that sports drove up the COVID virus in any way. I mean, at
Right.
Cavalier, we didn't even have one case for the whole season, not even one, and we test every week.
For the whole
And
season.
then Premier League,
Yeah.
plus our club is like 75% vaccinated. I know a lot of clubs are 90. So we are some of the people who are definitely helping the government to achieve what they want to achieve by.
Right.
Oh, and I was gonna say too that where our sport is played in the sunlight, which helps
Mm.
ventilation, we're out in the open, and people don't stay in one place for too long, so it's more difficult for you to catch a virus doing sports.
Yeah, because we're watching the games. We're watching the games on Saturday. We're watching the games on Sunday. We're watching the World Cup qualifiers, and we see people in the stands. So what happened that where the Jamaican government can't see that and make we support the team? Because we really want the team go to the World Cup.
I think I think to be honest, they will make a couple of blunders before the election, then the country for entertainment, and you can see the rates of deaths
Yeah.
and what happened. I think they are just being cautious. I mean, they're probably not saying it like that, but that's my summary of the situation. So, but I'm saying that they're wrong. They should. Sports is nowhere in the world. Sports is one of the best economy. Sports is one of the best activity that you want. People are stronger, so they can fight the virus more. Plus the other things that I mentioned before. So I think they are going about it wrong. Sports should be one of the one of the industry that is open up first, based on how safe it is.
All right. What advice do you have to give young people who want to become footballers?
Oh, thank you for that one. So I'm just gonna give you a little idea. So what we are going to be doing in Jamaica, as soon as the government open up back sports, especially football, is to have a strong grassroots presence, both boy and girl, in all the parishes. So there will be somewhere in the parishes that you can go and participate between 6 and 12 years of age, right? So it's a free for all. You go there, enjoy yourself, kick some ball, and you enjoy yourself. What we're planning to do is on the under 13 and the under 15 level, the parishes will have elite. They'll pick out the best players in the parish and have elite youth competition. So you'll have parishes playing against parishes at those levels. And we're asking the Premier League clubs now at the under 17 and the under 20 level to play competition among themselves. So now you see, you want to become a professional footballer, become a national footballer, get into the grassroots program from as early as 6 in the parishes, playing the under 13 and the under 15s. Once you go, the professional clubs will now spot you, pick you up, bring you into their ranking with better training facilities and better coaches, and you'll be in that professional scenario until you're 20 or until you make the senior team. So that is now the player pathway, which is very clear, or you want to get in. What we're going to try and do once we have these elite players, they'll be, we'll make sure that they'll be exposed to the national coaches, whether the coaches come to their team or come to the parish. But those people will expose the national coaching methods, etc. So by the time they start to play for Jamaica, we'll prepare them properly or to get overseas contract. So that is the plan we have to unleash as soon as the government opens up the country.
Okay. Okay. We asked this question before.
Stuff there.
Where can people find you or follow you on social media?
I'm not on social media. No. I am on social media, but I'm on Twitter, I'm on Facebook, but I don't use them. I just use them because sometimes when I'm trying to go some places, they say you must come to Facebook or you must use Twitter. But no, I'm not a social media person. I look at it a lot, but I'm not somebody that talk to people because different reasons. You just set up a self-abuse somebody time. People love to abuse you.
Yeah. That's true. That's true.
This is some crazy people. I mean, when they talk about it,
you haven't.
Right.
Mr. Speid, you have anybody to big up?
Yeah, man.
You have anybody you want to big up or shout out?
Yes. Yeah. First of all, I mean, I have to big up all the players in my club, management, the staff, the president, everybody. Also, big up the people, that the JPL and the JFF will give us the opportunity. And the last set of big up is all of the distractors them, because the truth is, without you, we wouldn't make it. You guys just motivate me and make me want to see the smile, and I just want to see your face after me achieve things. So big up all of the distractors.
All right, Mr. Rudolph Speid, we'd like to thank you for once again joining the Sports DTM for an interview.
You're welcome.
All right, here you have it, fans. Another interesting interview, this time with Cavaliers boss and JFF Technical Committee Chairman, Mr. Rudolph Speid. Let us know what you thought about the interview. Drop your comments in the comment section below. Like the video, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. This has been another episode of Sports Down the Middle. Be blessed.